to be successful with the line of plumbing that we do, which again is service related. It's not new construction where you're just, at a job for a week or maybe months at a time. So the skill set that is required here is going to be one that you have to be a personable person. You have to have a personality, and you have to be willing to engage and talk to people. And you have to be a salesman in a sense, because you've come up with how to resolve a problem, but there's going to be a price to that. And it's learning how to display that price or that information in a way that's both confident that, you found the answer and you can take care of it. And here's the cost. But, you don't just say, okay, it's going to cost, $2,000. Do you want to do it? I mean, that's not how you do it. That's not being a salesman. So, you have to realize the salesman is going to give you information, say, well, this is what we found. There might be a couple options. Want you to choose. It could, option A is this. Option B would obviously be the better one, but it's more expensive. Whichever you would like to do, we're happy to do for you. So you have to have that mentality of a salesman without being a salesman. And I'm regularly telling my guys, you would do your very best when you're not trying to be a salesman, but you have to remember you're a salesman. So you have to convey information very well, very trustworthy, and respectfully, and recognize that in some situations, it's going to be a strain on a family to when they see what's might need to be done. And not all jobs are really expensive, but there are those ones, and you walk into situations like going into the job what you might find. And so that's the other trait is that I'm about to walk into something that's likely going to be very expensive. And then you get to the location and maybe your heart's being tugged for the family. Like you see something and you're like, man, I feel bad. And that, I don't know if they're going to be able to maybe afford this in some instances, or maybe it's some reason you think that. It doesn't mean that they can't. But then you have to give them that information, but you want to be sensitive, I want to say. So you have to be a little compassionate too, a little in understanding, and might be times where people are, I've experienced lots of times people are like, there's such a stressful day and then this took place, and then having this taken place and the cost of it now brings them to the edge of tears. And you had to be willing to try to work with that. And here in our office, that's where the guys will be like, hey, is there a way we can work with them on a payment plan or something? And I'm not very fond of that because I've never have seen it finish out where it got paid, but try to figure out all we can to try to work with someone, But so compassionate, understanding, be a good people person. I think that's what that is, and conveying things in a good manner, and always doing what's best in a situation. I mean, it may not be best in a situation to complete a sale. If you realize what's best is maybe just, maybe there's a big sale that is really the best for the house, the best for that family, but maybe that is not the right set of circumstances that they're going through. Maybe the best situation for them is to do something that we would say would be not a standard repair. We can't warranty it, but we can do it at a lot less expense and hope it gets you through a couple of months or something, right? And sometimes you have to realize what's best is something that isn't just perceived by you. It's what's best that's from the customer's perspective. And again, it would be two different options, two totally different things taking place, but that might be, the advice you give them. Hey, for today, you got a lot going on. Let's just do this. And when you need the other done, we're here for you. And a lot of times that's what people need to hear. They need to hear that there is another option. The water heater's leaking, there's not. But in other circumstances, it's, hey, you got a line that's ruptured. It serves this whole part of the house. It's going to be super expensive because it's going under the slab to reroute it. But I found the line that's causing the leak. If you like, I'll cap it, terminate it. Your bathroom down there won't work anymore. But for today, that might be what they need because they have still got another bathroom. They've still got their kitchen. Maybe they can go a period of time because they're not ready to, invest as much. They weren't prepared for that. the guys have to know that going in, that what you're doing is not trying to be a salesman and produce sales. Like you're taught, like, oh, I was the number one salesman, like number. No, that's not what we're after. We're after, what is who satisfies the customer, basically. You want customer satisfaction, and sometimes that means your sales are going to be low, but you're doing things that, people they will call us back. They'll tell their neighbor. They'll we will get extra jobs from it. That just because you went out there and you didn't make much, we didn't make much, maybe we all broke even. It's okay. We did the right thing, and that's why I feel like when we have the difficult customers, like we work so hard to do the right thing, and this is, at times there's a challenge, but we know, wait, we're always trying to do the right thing, not by how we see it. Quite often, a lot of times, the right thing by how a customer sees it. And when you try to work that out and then they still aren't happy, then there's the other characteristic. You have to be patient. You have to learn to hold your tongue when you really want to just rip into them. You got to, you have to do that as have a little self-control.